In this demo, we will show you how to create a tabular report. As we've moved into the Report tab, we click on the Create Report link, and from there we are presented with our report editor. Here we're entering a title. We're going to create a report about defects in our project. We'll go ahead and enter a brief description, and then we will select the type of report that we'd like to run. In this case, we have two options, a tabular and a matrix report. The tabular has been pre-selected, so we're ready to go. Now we're going to select the data that we want in our tabular report. Since this is a report about defects, we opened up our defect folder where all our defect data is, and we are simply selecting the fields of data that we'd like to see in our report and dragging them one by one in column order into the data editor. Here we see defect ID, summary, priority, status. Now we're going to add assign to. Now we didn't drag it properly, so we got a little message box. So we're going to do that one again until we get a green signal, and now it's in the spot that we'd like. We also want these data fields to be linked together so that the defect ID corresponds with the summary, the priority, the status, and whom it's assigned to. We want to add some headings or some labels for each column, and we can simply drag the label icon into the column heading field, and it automatically populates with the required label. Of course, we can change the label. Here we'll change it assigned to resource. From there, we will like to add a group heading so that we can group our defects. So we chose defect severity. We're also going to put a filter. So we've chosen another field, defect release. And rather than selecting a particular release like a city name that we have here, we just select the runtime option so that the person who runs the report can select it at runtime. So now let's see how our report looks. We'll click on the preview link and let the report give us a quick template that we can test it. We select the project. We have our option for release that we added as a filter, and we're going to choose Vancouver. And now we're going to go ahead and execute the report, and let's see how it looks. Here we have a nice tabular report on defect status. Everything is grouped by severity, blocker, critical, etc. You can see the column headings being highlighted quickly here, the ones that we selected, and of course the items below it correspond to the appropriate heading. One of the things that we'll notice in this report is how are they grouped. And if we look at, say, the status field, we can see that we have new and closed and open and reopened, a bunch of different fields of data, which, wouldn't it be nice if we could take that status field and sort it so that all the new ones were together, all the closed ones were together. So let's take a second and go back to our editor and rerun the report with a little different touch. We're going to go to our defect status field and select the sort by. And do we want it A to Z or 1 to 10 or vice versa? Let's just stick with A to Z. Now let's see how that looks. We'll go ahead and click on our preview button again and rerun the report so that now it is sorted by status. Again, we select the release. Let's go back to our Vancouver release and click on Execute Report. And now we can see the status field is sorted in alphabetical order so that all the closed defects and new defects within each grouping or severity grouping are sorted properly. So we like our report, we want to keep it, now we're ready to save it. So we click on the Save link, and the first thing we are given is the ability to decide on which resources should actually have the privileges to run this report. This is pretty self-explanatory, so we can go ahead and save that. And now we have completed the process of creating a custom report. And one last time, let's run the final version of it. Make sure everything is working correctly. We'll go ahead again and export the report. And one of the things you'll see is in the final version of the report, you have some additional capabilities. Now you'll see that certain of the data elements have links associated with them, which gives you the ability to actually drill into items on the report. You can also export them to different formats. But let's go ahead and drill into one of the defects. And we're presented back to the original defect that was created. We can review it, we can decide what to do, or we can simply return back to our report with a convenient link at the bottom of the page. So that's how to create a tabular report. If you have any other questions, visit us at artifactsoftware.com.